So hello everyone, and a warm welcome to Directions Live Online. You have joined us today for a webinar on integrating data with ArcGIS. And we'll be joined by two specialists in Esri Malaysia in that area who will give you the best rundown of the evolved version of FME. So all in the next 30 minutes or so. Today's presenter is Kit Ying, and she will be assisted by Rushton. They are both consultants in the enterprise consulting team focusing on Esri product and technology. And without further ado, I shall pass this presentation to Kit.
Thank you, Caleb, for the introduction. I'm Kit Ying. So let's start our section for today. So conceptually, ArcGIS is designed to integrate data virtually every type of data format, from tabular to unstructured real-time vector data and raster imagery, or making this data available as ready-to-use service extract in the form of layer that can be added to map across the web. Now, to bring together the world information as geospatial infrastructure is ArcGIS mission. Now on the question of how that access and integration happen, there are several solutions or patterns that can be done on the data type, source, and situation. So I'm going to walk through 4 key interoperability solutions, roughly in order from most easier and maybe to some require some scale. Yeah. So the first, simply use out-of-the-box functionality we call ArcGIS product, native functionality to access a variety of third-party data store and system. Second, connecting directly to ArcGIS REST services and Esri managed plugin to third-party software like Microsoft Office. Data interoperability extension, where we inject and output standard services and formats, and have a no-code Visual Studio to help automate your ETL pipeline. And this will be the topic that me and Rashta will be covered by today. Lastly is the Python. Python is everywhere across ArcGIS. ArcGIS Python distribution is rich, comprised of hundreds of packages and power spatial analysis across many products, enabling integration through notebook and embedding and accessing deep learning framework and wrapping custom script as tools into easy job processing user interface. As you can see, more from left to the right, there is more resources and more specialized skill is needed. With the data interoperability extension, we can connect to 100 or even more of data set, convert them directly as hosted teacher service, or convert them into the other data type, transform and enrich along the way. The ArcGIS Data Interoperability Extension gives you the ability to actually integrate non-native data into your GIS and share your data with others who do not use ArcGIS Pro. ArcGIS Data Interoperability Extension is an integrated spatial extract, transform, and load, which in short form requires as ETL toolset that run within the job processing framework using safe software FME technology. It enables you to integrate data from multiple sources and format. Use the data with your processing tools and publish it with ArcGIS server. When using the ArcGIS Data Interoperability Extension, you can also launch the Workbench application directly, which allow you to alter FMW file that can be directly attached to an ETL tool. FME Hub is a community platform where users can access and share pre-built, customized FME tools like Transformer, Reader, Writer, Template, and Web Connection. You can access the FME Hub through Workbench with support browsing hub or you can use a web browser, and this capability available at ArcGIS Pro, but not in ArcMap. In order for you to use the ArcGIS Data Interoperability Extension, you need a separate installer and the extension license. Once you install, you will see the data interoperability control in the analysis ribbon, and its option is available. Workbench is the primary desktop application used to build translation and transformation workflow. Data Inspector is a data inspection utility that can be used to pan, zoom, and select individual features on the data. Data interoperability provides quick import, quick data translation tool, like this quick import and quick export tool for moving data among your database and a wide range of formats. Historically, data interoperability was about moving data across a format barrier. This use case hasn't gone away. So here is some detail about how many formats are accessible. The data interoperability toolbox can contain out-of-the-box job processing conversion tools that import and export data between your database and non-native format using FME reader and vector. These tools are ideal when you need to convert data quickly. They can be used as standalone job processing tools, used in model builder, execute in a Python window or script, or published with model in Toolbox as job processing service using your ArcGIS server. Quick conversion tool perform simple one-to-one translation and do not modify feature geometry or schema during conversion. If your work requires schema change, consider using spatial ETL tools. The quick import tools import one or more external dataset into your database as feature class, whereas the quick export tools export one or more your database feature class or feature layer to an external dataset. Next, my colleague Rashdan will show you how these quick tools work. Yeah, over to you, Rashdan.
Thank you, Kate. In data interoperability tools, we have PreExport, In data interoperability tools, we have PreExport and quick import. Both tools are used to export or import one or more external dataset into a geodatabase as a feature classes. For this demo, I will show how to operate with quick export tool, and let's take a look. I select the feature from the map of Monroe Street, and then I choose the output format to export to. As we can see here, there is large number of formats available. And I'm going to go with the spatial light format. And this is a good source of data of multiple sharing and to other third-party application. Okay. I could choose to override previously processed, but if I run the tool, all the features in my left pane will convert it, into spatial light file. And this is not my objective. Supposedly, I want only to apply on selection data. For example, I want only the city street to be exported as a spatial light data file. Okay, we supported that workflow too. Here, I got a model. As you can see that I have bring quick export tool inside this model video. And I add expression jurisdiction equal to 12, which is the city street. Add a copy of the selection to the layer. And I run the tool here. So it will export those features I selected to the spatial light file. It will run as any regular geoprocessing tool and have to wait until it finishes. Okay. Then I can check my work here. Okay. And navigate to the output folder, and I add it into the my current map. I can see that my export is complete. So this is couple of scenario of quick export tool in ArcGIS Pro. Over to you, Kit.
Thank you, Raskan. That was a good demo about how the quick tools works. So next, we would like to cover about the spatial ETL. So a workflow is a visual interface that allow you to easily input your existing data, define manipulation to it in an unlimited number of ways, and then output it in any format that you choose. This process is known as spatial ETL. The spatial ETL tools use the advanced functionality of FME to apply transformer to a transformation to a data set. In a workflow, reader feature type represent extract from the input data set. Transformer represent the transformation process. And writer feature type represent loading into the output data set. A spatial ETL tool is a job processing tool that either reference or contain the FMW file. The spatial ETL tools, job processing tools allow your Workbench tools to be used in ArcGIS Pro. To support this workflow, there are a few ways to use the ETL tool that best suit your need. If you already have an FMW file, authored either in ArcGIS Pro or in FME Desktop, you can use it in ArcGIS Pro. You can attach the FMW file to an ETL tool so it can be used in ArcGIS Pro. This workflow allows you to share your FMW file with others or run them in the job processing environment. You can also choose to embed the FMW file in the toolbox if you want to share a single toolbox and have your users see that workspace. This method works well if you have multiple ETL tools for multiple FMW files and you want to embed them in a single toolbox and sharing one file. The simple transformation accomplished by quick import and quick export involves translating the file format of your data set. Many other transformations are possible, including changing the coordinate system, the feature type, the geometry, and the attribute. When manipulating your data, you will often need to change the structure of the data independent of the format. For instance, you might want to add or remove attribute or change an attribute name or type. Transforming a dataset structure, often referred to as its data model, is called Schema Translation. You can use the spatial ETL tool to accomplish this. Workbench is an application for creating workflow used for moving data between different formats and applications that often involve more than a format-to-format translation. This application allows you to alter workflow that can be repeated and reused on different data. If you want to alter workflow in Workbench, you can create a workflow in two different ways. If you create a new ETL tool, as mentioned in the previous section, a default FMW workflow Workbench file will be created. The Workbench application will be launched and already referenced to a spatial ETL tool, allowing you to alter your workflow. These ETL tools will then be ready to run with the data you need to process. Starting Workbench, open the main window and workspace canvas. The canvas displays the data source, connection, transformer, and destination feature that define your spatial ETL tools. Navigator is an explorer window that displays your workspace in a tree view. It provides a visual status of your parameter and offers immediate accessing to editing dialog box. Transformer Gallery is an explorer window that enables you to browse for transformer by category or search for them by entering one or more keywords that describe a name or function. To add a transformer to your workspace, double-click or drag the transformer onto the canvas. The log pane is a text window that displays detailed information about your translation during runtime. Use it to trace error and warning and document the execution of your spatial ETL tools. When the translation is finished, you can search for specific text string, copy and paste the content to other text file, or save all this information into a log file. Next, my colleague Rashdan will show you how the Workbench works, and as well as once you have already job processing to the FMW file being ready, how you can share it to your ArcGIS server as web tools. Over to you, Rashdan.
Okay, thank you, Kit. In this scenario, we want to migrate data from anywhere, such an open data source, into a ArcGIS data store. Some of the data may not be in spatial, many will be in tabular, and some of them may be in apps. So we could use this custom ETL tool for the purpose of downloading our data in particular open software and transform it into a spatial data set. Okay. So here is the ETL tool that does this download. I will run it and I will explain what it's doing as we go along. What is happening is HTTP call is being made to get hold of shapefile format for spatial data set. And it is non-spatial data. I'm sending myself an email what to do about it. And it is tabular. I'm downloading about 300 plus of CSV file. Now, in fact, I have disabled this one on the bottom right here because they would take a while. But you can see the shapefile passing through the system. And what I'm doing here is downloading all the shapefile to a folder and also pushing it up into Access Online as a shapefile item. So if I go into my download folder, the data is arrived and it should be in there as a zip file. So that is the data coming through, and additionally, the data is being pushed to my ArcGIS Online organization. And everybody in the organization can open the data that being uploaded. Okay. Now let's proceed with how to share an ETL tool as a web tool, or also known as a geoprocessing service, leveraging your ArcGIS enterprise environment. Before this, I ran an ETL tool that converted map info data tab into a package data. I can do that if I have extension installed on my Pro environment, and if there are other people in my organization who do not have the extension, then they will not going to do that work. So I wanted to be able to share this capability with everybody in my organization. So that's the use case for publishing as a web tool. Now, when I ran the ETL tool earlier to complete my ADC data geo package, leaving with the history item. Okay, this is the starting point for publishing a web tool. So I will fill in the required value, such as to put the summary for better understanding. I will put some meaningful text and choose the server that I'm going to host my geoprocessing that federated to my portal. Here in this content, okay, I will click so that we allow file upload, and I like to have a lot of message. So I'm going to choose information label. Okay. I must give description for the parameter and the tool. And that's complete filling all the required element in my web tool. Okay. Before we publish, we analyze first what being entered. So you will always left with a warning that your ETL tool is based on a DLL and may not be available on another installation. Okay. What it means that your interop possible must be installed on your enterprise environment. Okay. And then we publish it. So after publish, we can go to the pane. And this is where my tool available. Okay. It has service behind it, and I can directly run it from here, and it will execute all the publish tools. Over to you, Kit.
Thank you, Rashtan, for the demo. So here is some those training resources and as well as the documentation that we would like to share with you for you to refer. So that's all from us. Over to you back. Hello. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you for your attention so far. There was quite a bit to capture throughout the session. Thanks to Kit Ying and Rashtan. So we've had a couple of questions come through, and if you have been listening intently and you haven't had the chance to type out your questions, there's still some time, so you can do that in the questions pane. All right, so we have had a couple of questions come through. Yeah, the first one is ArcGIS Data Interoperability the same thing as FME?
The answer is no. ArcGIS Data Interoperability is not the same as FME. ArcGIS Data Interoperability is the extension that available in ArcGIS environment. Thank you.
All right, thanks, Kit. And we have another question. We have time for that. So are all the FME formats available in data interoperability?
Okay, that was a good question. Thank you. ArcGIS Data Interoperability provide access to a subset of FME supported format list. You can cross-check with the supported data format list in our ArcGIS resources, which we did share in just now the accesses, those are training and resources link. Yeah, that's all from me. Thank you.
Thanks, Kit. We have time for one more, I think. So does ArcGIS Interoperability contain all FME transformers?
Thank you, Caleb. Okay, that would be that was also a good question. Actually, some of the transformer might not be included in our ArcGIS Data Interoperability Extension. Like for example, some transformer duplicate the functionality that already available in our ArcGIS environment. So that will be not included in as part of our ArcGIS extension. So that is why it might not be all included into the data interoperability extension. Yeah. Hope I answer your question. Thank you. Over back to you, Caleb.
Thanks, Kit. Well, I certainly understood that. All right, so that's all the time we have today for questions. If you have more, please do not hesitate to reach out to us at events, the events at esrimalaysia.com.my. And we will do our best to reply you with the answers as soon as possible via email. And we really love your feedback. So please take a moment to fill out the brief survey that you will see pop up at the end of the session. And we're coming to the end of the webinar, all right? So you can scan the QR to find out about upcoming events and register for them. So thank you for joining us today. Thank you, Kit Ying, and thank you, Rashtan, for their time. And we look forward to seeing you again for the next webinar. Goodbye.